I was just browsing floor plan websites last week, as I do, and I found this house that I really wanted to build in The Sims. I mean, look at this. Is this not so beautiful? It's a little bit funky, and that's kind of why I like it so much. Like this part with the garage, super weird. Like, it's gonna look super weird in The Sims 4. Well, I know it looks weird in The Sims 4 because I built it already, but I really like this house and I wanted to try and recreate it in The Sims. So we're gonna do that today, but speed build edition because this house took me hours and hours and hours to build. So welcome back to Speed Build Sunday. Like I said, this house took me so long to build. It was like a 45-minute speed build when it was fully sped up, so I had to cut out a bunch of things. I was like, you know what? This build has no business being this long. It's not that good. So I cut out the whole upstairs furnishing, but I'll show you the finished product. I think that the outside is more important because we are trying to build this house from the photo, right? So I think the outside is the more interesting part. I don't think I did the best job with furnishing. I'm not the best person to furnish in general, I don't think. It's not my best work. This isn't my finest build, but I was pretty proud of the outside. It's kind of a weird house, and that's kind of why I liked it. Like, they have this whole front part where the garage is. Obviously, I did not keep a garage on this house because there is simply no point in having a garage. We don't even have cars in The Sims 4. So I turned that room downstairs where the garage would have been into a big bedroom for the parents of the house. All in all, it's a 5-bedroom house. There's also a gym and an office. So it's a really, really big home. It turned out way bigger than I was expecting. But I guess that's not a bad thing. But I think that's why it took me so long to do, is there was just so many rooms to furnish that I was like, oh my god, more still? How much more can there be? And I don't think the furnishing is my best work. I had a hard time with the floor plan as well because I was trying to have this like older house that's been renovated. So I was trying to have like a sort of traditional looking floor plan and then like renovate it. So I was trying to think like what sort of updates would this family possibly have made? I'm not sure. And we had photos of the back of the house this time, but the real photos of the back of the house, the real floor plan, absolutely horrible. The back is so ugly. I think this house, it reminds me of Texas, this house, and the back just did not fit my vibes. So we did not copy it. It had like a big like farmhouse style porch, and it was like, this doesn't match the style of the house at all. So we totally winged the back and just did our own thing with it. And I think it looks a lot better this way. And also the floor plan in general, I did not follow. Like I mostly just looked at the picture of the outside and then used it as a basis for the front of the house and then totally just did my own thing with the floor plan because their floor plan, of course, it has a garage. And honestly, the scale is always off with these things. It's impossible to do. And plus the whole back is different. So it's hard to base like the floor plan, the real one, and then the house on it because it's just not the same anymore. And just in general, like building real floor plans in The Sims, like hallways in real life are usually like maybe like 1.5 tiles, but we only have 2 tiles. You can't ever get the scale right. It's just never gonna work when you try to copy a floor plan exactly. You can sort of get the same like idea, but it's never gonna be right, especially when you're trying to make it look good on the exterior. It just never matches properly. This house also uses a lot of packs. Just the exterior obviously has a lot of get together. I ended up using a Realm of Magic brick. Also, Discover University windows, which I have not used much of, but I really enjoyed using in this house. It kind of worked. I feel like they fit really well. And I tried to have this like gray color scheme, which is a little bit different than what I'm used to. So it took me a while to figure out the color of the paint on the outside of the house, but you'll see it kind of come together and it starts to look a lot like the picture, to be honest. I was pretty proud of this one. It took me a bit to get there. And of course, like the stone doesn't really match exactly. Like the house kind of has a combination of like this brick and this stone and this paneling, and we don't really have those exact colors. That's kind of why it's so frustrating to ever try to build something like an exact recreation in The Sims, because again, the scale's always off. You never have the right swatches and colors. Like you just can't get it to work the way you want to. It's just not possible. And so when you try, it just ends up frustrating you because it's like, oh, this could be so good, but we're just lacking this swatch. I don't have the one thing that I need. Anyway, I kind of have a story for you. I don't know if I talked about this yet on YouTube. I remember I told a story on Twitch, but that's the thing. I'm like, did I mention this in a speed build yet? I don't remember. But I got a new chair recently. It's been like a few weeks now. You might have noticed that I used to have like the bigger like gamer chair, but I got this chair. I've had some back problems for a while, and I was like, you know what? It's about time I need to buy a better chair. Like those chairs are just not that good for your back, and the one that I had was actually a gift that was sent to me. I did a lot of charity streams for St. Jude this year, and they mailed me a chair, and I was like, this is the coolest thing ever. My old chair was kind of broken, so I was like, this is great. I have another chair, and it was really good. I still have it. I'm gonna put it at the other desk in my house, but I've been having these back problems, and I sit in my chair for so long every day because I like sit here and stream and work all day, and I was like, I need to get a new chair. So I bought a Herman Miller desk chair. these things are kind of expensive, right? They're like nice, like fancy chairs that are good for your support and blah, 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 whatever. So I bought one and it finally gets here. I bought it like 2 months ago. It finally comes and I get like a notification it's been delivered and I open my door. There was 2 massive boxes on my porch and I was like, the chair's not that big, like why are there 2 of these giant boxes? What is in these boxes? So I was kind of like, that's not, so I brought them in, I opened one of them and the chair was fully put together, like just in the box, like it just rolled out of the box and I was like, okay, cool, but what's in the other box? Like what's that? And so I was like checking the addresses, like they're both addressed to me. Okay, so I opened the other box. There is a second chair. They were both mailed to me, both addressed to me. So at this point I was like freaking out, like did I buy a second one by accident? How did I manage that? How did I not notice I spent double? So I was like freaking out, checking my cards, checking the confirmation emails. No, I only bought one. I only paid for one, but they sent me 2. So I got a second of these really expensive chairs for free. There's 2 of them just showed up at my house. So I gave one to my mom. And now she's got a nice desk chair as well. Obviously with the pandemic, she's been working from home a lot. And so she's been sitting in like a plastic chair at my old desk in my old bedroom. Well, now she's got a Herman Miller chair. So you're welcome, Mom. I really splurged on that for you, clearly. Yeah. They sent me 2 of them. That is the biggest like stroke of luck ever. And my mom told me that she recently bought a mini fridge to like put in the garage and they sent her 2 of them as well. The same thing happened to her. Different company, but she tried to buy a mini fridge and then she got 2 of them sent to her. And then she contacted them and they were like, oh, just keep it, like whatever. And so she's got 2 mini fridges now, which honestly, that kind of thing's kind of annoying because like you don't need 2 mini fridges. And now where are you gonna put the second one? Who has space for that? But now they have 2 mini fridges. But isn't that bizarre? I've never been sent like double of like a kind of expensive item, like a mini fridge too, to get sent 2 of them. Like what kind of mistake has happened here? But I checked even the email, the confirmation email they sent me, like they were like, hey, it's been delivered, quantity 1. And I was like, are you sure? Your order, quantity 1, has been delivered? I'm pretty sure it's quantity 2, but I'll take it. I'll keep it. I mean, fine by me, I guess. I mean, if you insist that I have an extra of these nice chairs, I will certainly take it. Now, if I have mentioned this story before on YouTube, I'm really sorry. Like I said, I can't remember, but if you wanted to hear it twice, now you have. Not much exciting stuff happens in my life these days. Like, I just sit at my house. So this Herman Miller chair thing has honestly been the coolest thing to happen all year. To be fair, it's a pretty cool thing to have happen. Like, it's kind of lucky. But that is, honest to God, like probably the most exciting thing that's happened in months. So you can't blame me, right? Like, yeah, that's all I have to talk about. What else am I gonna tell you about? Oh, I went to the grocery store today. Ooh. I bought some fruit. Like that is all I have to say to you. I just build in The Sims and that's it. We're working on the backyard now, as you can see. Sorry to move on, but the backyard I think turned out really nicely. I was trying to have this like nice patio sort of area, and so I was trying to use like the rounded pieces to make something interesting. It kind of looks like a butt, which wasn't my intention, but it kind of looks like a butt on the patio, which honestly isn't a bad thing. There's no harm in that. There's kind of a funky shaped pool. There's like beautiful landscaping. There's a little garden outside. Like, I think the backyard turned out really, really well. God, I would love to have just a fancy backyard like this. I always say this, but I don't want to deal with the upkeep of it. I have no interest in that. But wouldn't it be so nice to like have someone to clean your pool for you and to have this beautiful backyard? Wouldn't that be a lovely place to live? In this beautiful home with this beautiful yard and view. We don't have this kind of thing around these parts. I live in Florida. You would never find a house like this. You would never find a view like this. Perhaps I need to move to Texas if I want to have a McMansion type of house like this one. There are so many neighborhoods I feel like in Texas. I know because I spend a lot of time on real estate websites, but there are so many neighborhoods like this in Texas, I swear, that's like a bunch of these like beautiful, like giant seeming houses, like these like manor type houses, but in these neighborhoods where they're all like super squished together right next to each other and like made with cheap materials and rush built. Like that's the definition of a McMansion, I feel like, is one of these. Like, it's like this illusion of grandeur, right? It's kind of pretty though, and I'd like to live in one. I'm gonna be honest. I want a pretty house. I want a house that looks old. I hate to say it, but that's what I'd like to have. Doesn't have to actually be old. I just want a house that looks old. Oh, speaking of old, this sounds really bad, but I do have one other story for you. So my mom's parents, my grandparents, are really old. My grandma turns 90 this year in March, and they're very not techie. Like they do not use technology at all. They share a flip phone between the two of them that they use to call if they ever have like an incident and they need a cell phone for, but they're mostly landline people, you know. My grandpa has my uncle's old laptop and he checks his email once a week. They're really not familiar with technology, like at all. And so the past few months, because we haven't seen them in a long time, I live in Illinois, so we can't go visit them obviously because of the pandemic. We've been trying to do like Zoom calls for events, like for Thanksgiving and Christmas. We like called them on Zoom, and my uncle was there and he like set up the Zoom call on his laptop, but it's really hard to like see and talk to them because, you know, they don't know how to use this stuff. And so my mom and I have decided that we're gonna buy them an iPad and we're gonna like set it all up for them, you know, turn off all the apps they don't need, just delete them, put our contacts in it, put some photos on it for them, maybe, I don't know, and then hopefully we can use it to FaceTime them. Because my uncle can be there to like set up the Wi-Fi for them and like show them how it works, and I'll write out like a tutorial and give them instructions so they have it to reference back, and they should be able to figure out how to FaceTime us, or at least like answer our FaceTimes, and then we can talk to them more because we can't see them. So hopefully this is a happy medium. I don't know. I hope that it works out, but that's the plan. We're gonna buy my grandparents an iPad that they will have no idea how to use, but they should be able to figure it out, right? Plus, if my uncle is there to like show them really fast and I'll have the things all written out for him. Oh my, I could like print out instructions. I could like type it up and print it out with screenshots. Maybe I'll do that. Give them like a booklet of instructions to use for it. I might do it. If any of you have any advice for my grandparents' iPad, let me know. I was thinking I might also like load up a shortcut to like Safari with my YouTube channel there, because they don't really know how to like see my YouTube channel. They always ask and they always want to see, but they don't really know how to get there. And so if I like load up a shortcut on the iPad that just goes straight to like youtube.com/lilsimsie, not in the app. I think the app is there's too much going on in the app. There's too many places you could end up that are wrong. I think that would be too confusing. But if we just get like a shortcut to the website on Safari, like that'll at least let them see. And that's what they want, right? I think the app would be too, in like Twitch, there's just no point in trying to load up Twitch, right? But I don't know. I'm trying to like over simplify it, because you guys gotta understand these people can't even really use their like flip phone, old cell phone, you know? I think they're kind of scared of it. So we need to like simplify to the most extreme. But anyway, we're furnishing the house now. I did the kitchen. See, I wanted the kitchen to be kind of closed off from the rest of the house, partially because it's an older home, but also because I didn't know where to put the fireplace and the TV. Because this house, it's kind of this just big open downstairs area, and I wanted it to be a little bit more closed off because it kind of is hard to figure out floor plans when you don't have like some walls. And the house is like very large and very open, and there are no walls. So I ended up putting a wall to close off the kitchen, because then I could actually put a fireplace on that wall. It's not exactly where there would be a fireplace. Maybe it's like an electric fireplace, because there is a chimney in the front of the house, but there is not a fireplace in the front of the house. But listen, like I said, it's an older house. It's been renovated. They're not gonna get rid of the chimney, but they took out the fireplace because it was old and broken. They couldn't use it anymore. So they got an electric one instead when they renovated. That happens. That makes sense. But I had a very hard time figuring out the color scheme of this house too, because I wanted to use that like gray toned wood floor. That's just a base game flooring, but I wanted to use it so badly. And then I was really struggling to figure out how to match furniture to it. So I hate to admit it, but the house is blue. The furniture, it's blue and it's white in the house. I know this, every build I do is like this. I told you I'm not that proud of the furnishing in this one. It's not my best, most creative work with the furniture here. I tried to warn you. I told you I didn't do that good of a job. I did my best. It's not that good though. I'm kind of disappointed in myself, but I didn't know what to do with it. Like, I wanted to have that like purpley brick tone that we have on the outside, but I didn't know how to like pull that in and tie it in and like match the flooring. So I didn't. And I'm sorry for that. I know. It's not that good. I need a do-over. I think the entryway worked out pretty well. I ended up like closing off the dining room as well, because I feel like it made more sense to define the space. Then I kind of just plopped a grand piano in the hallway. Why is my voice disappearing? Come back. Anyway, I plopped a grand piano down, and then like all of a sudden there was a gym and this office, and there just ended up being so much stuff downstairs. And I'm not really too sure if it worked out that well. I like how it looks, but I definitely think I've done better. Also, this house has a lot of the Vampires pack. The Vampires kitchen stuff. It's got the Vampires flooring outside. Like I told you, I use so many packs in this house. It's not even funny. I usually try to limit packs more than this. Like, I try not to use a ton of packs everywhere, but in this one, we just went off the deep end, I guess. I don't know. I was just throwing stuff everywhere. Vampires, even. I'm not a huge fan of vampires themselves, but honestly, the Vampires pack has some kind of cool items. Like, especially just generally pretty usable items. Like, the kitchen stuff is so good. Doesn't look like scary vampire kitchen stuff. It's just a nice like white cabinet with a black countertop. Like, it's very good. It works very well. I think it's very in right now as well. Like in real life, people just have that everywhere. I like that white kitchen look. I don't think we have very many good white cabinets in The Sims. Like we have a white swatch on most of the cabinets, but there's like no white cabinets with white countertops that actually look nice. There's one swatch of the base game, like most expensive counters, but it's like a kind of bluish toned white, and it looks very farmhousey to me. Like I want a slightly more modern or like more contemporary, I should say, looking cabinet that's like white on white, because those are like all white kitchens, white subway tile, white cabinets, white granite or whatever. It always looks so clean and it's so trendy. Like I feel like you see that everywhere. Like on Pinterest, you look up kitchen, you're gonna get all white kitchens. That's like totally the thing right now. I think we need more stuff like that. And also honestly, like kind of muted, like pastel-y, olive-y colors are very popular as well. I've noticed. I follow a lot of house people on Instagram that do like interior design stuff, and so many of them have that like olive colored kitchen, and I think that we need more of that too. More of that like olive color. A lot of the colored cabinets we have are really bright. I think we need some like nice muted toned cabinets of a few colors like that. I would enjoy that very much. And the only bright cabinets we have really at all is that base game, like kind of modern looking one. You know, the one that looks kind of like plastic? I wish that we had some like painted wooden looking cabinets with some colors as well. Honestly, like kind of like the vampires ones, but painted, or even kind of like the Parenthood ones, but painted and just with more color options. I should stop asking for colors. I'll probably regret it because we're gonna get too many bright ones, but I want some nice muted colors, you know? Give me some greens and some blues. Even a yellow, I'd take a yellow. God, speed builds are so all over the place. I don't even know what I'm talking about anymore. I'm not even saying anything that makes sense. I also am realizing that I don't think I'm gonna finish furnishing this house in this video at all. I have the footage, I just cut it out because I was trying to save time. Nobody needs a 40-minute long speed build, like I told you. It's just, what am I gonna talk about for 40 minutes? Cabinets? Nobody wants that. Nobody can handle that. lilsimsie being like, perhaps an olive color would be nice. Like, no one needs to listen to me talk like that for 40 minutes. Oh, I used to be able to do it way better. When I was younger, I could just sit here and talk about nothing for so long. I can still do it, but I feel kind of dumb doing it. I feel like I'm wasting your time by just sitting here being like, just talking about random stuff like iPads. Like, you don't care about this. Maybe you do. I guess if you don't care, you probably clicked off, right? So anyway, the house is turning out really nice. This is the parents' bedroom. Like I said, there's one big bedroom downstairs. They have an ensuite bathroom plus a gym next to it. They also have an office downstairs, and then there's 4 kids' rooms upstairs, and most of them have an ensuite bathroom. So there's a lot of bathrooms and a lot of bedrooms. 5 bedrooms, 5 bathrooms in this house. Could be 7 bedrooms because there's the 2 like office and gym spaces. Could make it into an art studio or something too if you wanted. So this house is a lot of space for a lot of things. And honestly, that like space for extra rooms is very useful in The Sims because there's so many times that you need like random skill building stuff. Like if you needed to have some sort of weird giant cupcake machine for whatever reason, there's a whole extra room for that, and that's pretty useful. And honestly, like the gym equipment, that's hard to fit into places. This house has room for it. Maybe you want a microscope. The microscope is like giant in this game too. That fits in here. Anyway, that's enough of me rambling. Let's go look at the build. I placed it where the Munch family used to live. Oh, I guess they're still here. I didn't evict them this time. That's good. A lot of times I kick out the Sims that live in the lots that I want to build on, which is probably kind of rude, but they'll be fine. So here is the finished product. Honestly, the outside's kind of weird. It's kind of goofy, but that's why I like it. It's so big. I wish the house was smaller, to be honest, but that's okay. Back of the house, very pretty. I love the back garden. I think this is so beautiful with the planter boxes and the space for the kids and like all of the lounging and the grill and like of course a chess table. Every house I make has a chess table. And then when you come inside, there's this big open living room. I think it looks a lot less bad than I thought it would in my head. Like, I think it looks pretty cozy. There isn't a TV in this house. It didn't really fit, but you have a piano. And of course, there's a whole gym, even a yoga mat in here. You've got this fancy office, and look at the view from your desk. It's a lamp. Isn't that nice? But you can also, that's the monkey bars, isn't it? You just watch the kids play while you're working. The parents have their own room downstairs. They have their own hallway as well. And then it comes into their bedroom. You got a vanity even. Nice big space. I love this like green color scheme. I think the chairs are really nice. And then they have their own bathroom. There's a hall bath downstairs that everybody can use. Plus the kitchen is beautiful. I mean, look at that. Dining room back here. And then upstairs... 1 second. I didn't realize this is the unfinished version. How did that even happen? I put the finished one on the gallery. I don't have enough money. Oh my god, this is horribly embarrassing. Okay, how is it not furnished? There we go. There's the upstairs. Okay, first it's not even in the speed build, and now it's just gone. Okay. So as you can see, there's 4 bedrooms upstairs, and there's 3 bathrooms. So technically, every one of these Sims could have their own bathroom, because you could have, like, this one could have the bathroom downstairs or whatever, but 2 of the rooms have en-suites, because there's these, like, dormer bits. The hallway also has a nice little desk nook. I figured that's pretty useful for the kids to do homework at. Plus, there's a window in the hallway. A lot of times, my houses don't have that, so that's a perk. You've got one kid's room back here. It's kind of this green theme. Maybe a younger kid lives here. Maybe a teen's room in this one. I kind of distinguish in my head that teens' rooms have double beds and kids' rooms have single beds, because that's kind of the only way that you can show passage of time in The Sims, because you can't really do much when you're a child or a teen. So in my head, I'm like, oh, you're a teen now, let's upgrade your bedroom to a bigger bed. It doesn't actually matter, but that's what I always do in my own gameplay, and in my head, I'm like, oh, the bigger bed is for the bigger kid. But anybody could sleep in this room. You don't have to be a teen to have a double bed. Doesn't matter. They also have a computer, so they must be special. This room is shared between 2 kids, maybe younger kids again in this one. And then this room also in my head, maybe like an older kid, almost a teen. They have a teddy bear even. So I like this wallpaper. I haven't used it before. Realm of Magic, by the way. But I think it kind of fit pretty well in there. I liked this room. I thought it was nice. And then that's the whole house. I'm sorry I cut out the upstairs. It just was such a long video. I've been recording a voiceover for 37 minutes. Just the voiceover. What have I been talking about? I don't know. I mean, granted, I've been stopping and starting again a lot of times, but just the voiceover. Ridiculous. This house is on my gallery twice, both unfurnished and furnished if you want it. My name's just lilsimsie on the gallery. I think it's called like Tudor Mansion. I don't know. I'm not very creative with names for lots. But I think on that note, I will see you all tomorrow. Bye, everybody. I like to build houses in The Sims. I don't know if you all noticed, but it's one of my favorite things to do. I also streamed this on Twitch, so if you want to come watch my Twitch streams, my link is in the description box. I'm just saying.